I'm getting so tired. I'm getting so.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show. Look here, Cap Wood over Gal House with his little baby, right? And guess what? Now you know, even though she's a gangster, she's still an employee of the department, right? Well, what happens when somebody has a baby? People like to pay them a visit, don't they? The people that she worked with happen to pay her a visit. And Captain Wood is over there. Now, one of the people that paid her a visit was Internal Affairs. They not stopping by to do anything crazy. They just coming by to see how she was doing and see the baby. They hadn't seen the baby yet, you know? So when they stop by, Captain Wood is over there. He's sitting down there chilling and all this and that, right? And when the knock on the door come, they can see through the window that he's sitting on the couch, holding the baby. When the knock on the door come, he stands up with the baby, holding the baby. And old gal go to the door. She answers the door, open the door. It's like 4 people that work in the department out there, all females, and one of them is the Internal Affairs. And then when they come in, they see Captain Wood, and they like, "Hey, how you doing? What are you doing over here?" Now, look here. You know how women are. What do I mean by that? Nothing disparaging at all. See, women, they got this sixth sense. They can tell something ain't right. And all of them know Captain Wood, he about chasing skirts and stuff. So they looking at now, they looking at him, they looking at the baby, they looking at her. Now they trying to figure out, you think this is Captain Wood, baby? Then they look at her, and she play it off and keep on moving. They don't ask the question out loud, but they were like, "Let me hold the baby, Captain Wood." He hand him the baby, this and that. He said, "No, I just stopped by to see how she was doing, you know, and all this and that," right? He offering up an explanation real fast because he understands that this could blow up right now in his face. Blow up. So he said, "Look, I've been over here long enough. I'll let y'all ladies, you know what I'm saying, have some fun." He said, "I can't wait till you come back to work." And she said, "Well, stop by anytime, you know." And he said, "I will." And he left. Now, when he left, all of them sitting down and talking. As soon as he was out the door and in the car and down the road, they were like, "All right, then, what is he doing over here?" Now, this is just girl talk, though. Now, old gal, you know, she said, "Nothing, he just stopped by. You know, I'm his secretary." And they were like, "Uh-huh. Yeah, we ain't at work. Tell us what's going on. Is that Captain Wood, baby? You know Captain Wood be getting around." And she kept telling them, "No, it's not his baby." But the IA gal, she watching. She reading body language. She been trained, y'all. She reading the body language. She trying to figure out, is this gal lying to me? Because she gonna be the police 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She don't know when to stop. She don't know when to stop. Everything to her is suspicious. Why would he be over here? It's a logical explanation. He is her supervisor. But she can't get it out of the back of her head what the warden told her. Watch him. Something ain't right. Especially after he came to work beat up like that. Something ain't right. So now she's suspicious about anything related to him. So after about an hour or two, they leave. And she calls Captain Wood. And she tells him they gone. And he was like, "Well, what did they talk about? What they asked you?" She told him everything that they talked about. And he's like, "Okay, you played that good. All right, that's cool." So he gone back to work. And while he's at work, he's trying to read body language to see what's going on with the warden and then all the people in administration, because it's, you know, when you paranoid, it's almost like you think everybody's watching you. You think everybody is trying to see what you got going on, but most of the time they ain't paying no attention to you. But when you in law enforcement, everything is suspicious. And when you dirty, you really nervous all the time. And he was nervous because he didn't know what to do about the situation that he had found himself in. And he concluded, all I can do now is commit all the way to the game. And anybody that gets in the way, got to get rid of them one way or another. He's thinking in his mind, I got all these street people behind me. Why not use them? Why not use them? So he went on a rampage. He went on a rampage that lasted for years, y'all. Years. Anybody that got in his way, anybody that got close to him, it didn't matter who it was, they would all get paid a visit. All of them got paid a visit. And when they went to see him, they meant it. They meant it. When nobody's safe. When nobody's safe. And they let it be known, mind your business. Did they ever mention Cap Wood's name? Nah. They wouldn't dare do that. They didn't need to. They didn't need to, but they were all given a stern message. The warning was, mind your business. Because, see, here's the thing about prison police. Your authority is behind that fence. On the other side of that fence, you're a civilian. And people out there in the streets don't have no respect for none of that. They don't care about none of that. So whatever you got going on behind the fence, if it affects what they got going on, you better be willing to do what you need to do. But see, what Cap Moore didn't understand, that the IA lady, she was keeping records and she was willing to do whatever she needed to do to bring it all tumbling down. She didn't play no games about none of that. And he knew it. And he knew that she was going to have to be the final domino that falls, or he was going to be the final domino that failed. As simple as that. And he didn't know what it was that he needed to do with her because she played from a distance. She used informants. She used staff people. She used any and everybody that she thought she could get in there to infiltrate what was going on, to hear that one name, Captain Wood. But she never heard it. Inmates were coming and going, getting out, being transferred, all this and that. But she never could stop the flow of drugs. Until one day, they made a slip up. You know, Gal had come back to work, right? And you know, like I say, time had flown by. I'm jumping way ahead. Some years had gone by. The baby's like 3 years old, 4 years old at this point. He's been dropping by on a regular all the time, and they've been spending time and all this and that, right? So she sees it as kind of like some kind of family thing, right? But it's not really a family thing, but he is the baby daddy. He's the baby daddy, y'all. So she's looking at it like, you know, she has some say with what's going on with him when it comes to this child support, which she didn't put him on because he's always been paying. She know the business. And she been leaning back, pulling away from the organizational business a lot. So she ain't really concerned about what's going on with them, but she still knows she was instrumental in putting it all together. All of it. And you see now, bruh, in the penitentiary, he been good at keeping the secret that he with her, but he really ain't with her. He with the main lady. You feel me? And he been good at keeping that secret. Until one day, see, Captain Wood don't know all the intricacies of who's with whom and all this and that, right? So one day, he's sitting in the cell with bruh. And bruh talking to the head lady. And see, they can see each other on the phone, right? They got them type phones, them iPhones, whatever you call them, right? And they can see each other. Captain Wood, he see old Gal. And then he remembers when she beat him. But you know, she looking a little sexy now. I got on a little negligee and all this and that, and talking to the gangster on the phone and all this and that. And when he sees her face, she sees him. You know, the phone was turned towards him. She said, "What's up, bro?" He nods his head at her like that. Really don't want to say nothing. So bro tell her, said, "Look, baby, I'll catch you later." That's all he needed to say. He said, "Baby, I'll catch you later." That made a light bulb go off in Captain Wood's head. Now Captain Wood thinking, wait a minute. He thought old Gal was his gal, the one that done had the baby. But at the same time, he know that he knocking her down too, so it's understood, right? It's understood what's going on. But if he messing with her, this might be the wedge in the game that he needs. Might be the wedge in the game that he needs. But see, Captain Wood, he ain't no seasoned street dude. He ain't no seasoned street dude. He don't even know how to take it to her, but he goes to her like an idiot. They at work. He goes to Gal, his secretary, and now they talking on the level now. You feel me? This ain't got nothing to do with work. He said, who you with? She asked him, what are you talking about? You know who my man is. What we doing is just what we doing on the side. Don't start no problem. And he was like, well, you know, he got him somebody else too. And she said, don't play with me. Don't play with me. See, some people cool with doing it, but they ain't cool when it's being done to them. You feel me? Because all the sacrifices she done made for dude, done got pregnant, had a baby by somebody else just to set him up. She ain't trying to play no games. But she still got to satisfy that itch because he's still in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Cap Wood is for. Because when he get out, Cap Wood is gone. That's just that on that. But Cap Wood, he tells her now, he talking to such and such. And she know the name. She know the name. And she was like, how you know? And he give her a rundown. He tell her what he just witnessed. Now she hot. She hot. She talking to him real crazy in the office. And guess who walked in? Unannounced. Heard him from down the hallway, creep down the hall, like creeping through the fog. Hearing all this commotion that's going on, because when people get heated emotionally, especially when they're talking about matters of the heart, they're not aware of what's going on around them and who might be listening. And she was just going on with the move, and I walked up and like, what's going on in here? And before you knew it, she started to piece some things together. This wasn't a Department of Corrections conversation. This was an emotional relationship type of conversation. And who was it including? Was it them two or was it somebody else? So she looked at him. She said, y'all got some explaining to do. You can tell me or you can tell HR. But you got some explaining to do. So the captain looked at it and said, can we talk about this outside of work? Now keep in mind, I ain't never off the clock. You feel me? So old gal's like, yeah, what do you want to do with that? He said, I'll meet you at her house. I looked at him, looked at her. She's like, yeah, you can meet at our house. And meet at my house. And then she said, okay, I'll be there. I'll be there tonight, 9 o'clock. So Captain Wood, they started strategizing. They started trying to figure out what they're going to do and what they're going to say. So they make the call. Like I told you, everybody can get it, you know? Because if they let this conversation take place the way that IA might be wanting to take it, everything can come tumbling down. So they make the call and they tell old gal she need to send a couple of the gals over to the house tonight at 9 sharp. And make sure that they got somebody outside too so that nobody could get away. So when they all got to the house, about 9:05, knock came at the door. It was the sisters, right? When he opened the door, they stepped right on in and said, what's going on over here? IA caught all off guard because they flagged up. They flagged up. They beautiful women, but hey, look here, street down. Ain't playing. Strapped up. Ain't playing, y'all. So when they step up in there, they was like, look, y'all sit down. Everybody sit down, even the captain. Even the captain, y'all. They said, what we got going on in here? What you trying to find out? IA lady. They done already told her who she is. So she looks at him, she said, what? I'm just over here talking to them. Or what do y'all got going on? Who are you and why are you here? And they tell her, we was invited here for you. And that's when both of them reached up under their shirt and grabbed that thing and let it hang down by their side and said, look, don't do nothing silly. Don't do nothing silly. We just going to have a talk with you. Now she started to realize how serious this was, right? And the job and the authority that she had, all that stuff there went right out the window. She started to think about her family and her kids and all this and that. This job ain't that important. And they told us, look, you get in the way of what we got going on, ain't nobody gonna be able to help you. So they told her her address, where she lived, how many kids she had, what was going on. They told her all of that. And she looked at them and she told them, she said, look, I don't want no trouble. And whatever y'all got going on, and she looked at Captain Wood, I don't want nothing to do with it. I won't say a word about this to anybody. Just let me go home. And about that time when she said that, her eyes swelled up with tears, and one of the tears fell down her cheek. And Captain Wood said, you're going to be all right. Just keep everything to yourself and don't stop running your mouth. Now, he want to act gangster now. And she said, I give you my word, I'll never say a word about this. Not one word about this. And he said, I got your word on that. And she was like, you got my word on that. And then she looked at him, she said, so that's your baby? And he said, yeah, that's my child. And she said, I knew it. I knew it. She said, so how long has this been going on? And then he explained to her everything that he could other than about the drug thing. And he wanted her to understand how he was tricked too and got trapped. But she said, you're not trapped now though. You're doing it because you want to. Now this conversation that was taking place, it was a conversation to help everybody understand what was going on. And she just wanted to understand. Our lady just wanted to understand what and how somebody like him could get caught up like this. She wasn't going to say nothing. But see, the two sisters, they wasn't so sure about that. So they stopped them from talking. They said, look, enough of that. If I let you leave up out of here, this is what one of the sisters telling, if I let you leave up out of here, don't get it twisted. If anything happens to her or him, you might not ever see me again or my sister. This is what she's telling her now. But somebody will be to see you. It ain't no getting away. No matter how long it takes. So don't be trying to get no feathers in your cap. Go on back up in that penitentiary and bust them little dudes and give them their little piss tests and all this and that. But don't get in the way of this business. This is bigger than you. And it'll get ugly real fast for you. It ain't worth you losing everything that you'll lose. So the IA lady, she stood up and she told her, she said, look, I was just trying to do my job, but I'm not willing to sacrifice everything that I have for this job. So I'm going to just do what I need to do behind that fence. And whatever y'all got going on, that's between y'all. But leave me out of it. Anything that happens, it won't be because of me. Now, if something does happen, trust me, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'll make sure that he knows that. But don't ever try to do anything to me for something that might happen because of the mistake that they make. Because I'm not in this. I'm not in it. So they let her get up and she left and walked out the door. And Captain Wood, he knew then that his days were numbered, y'all. No matter what she said in front of all of them, he knew that his days were numbered. And he had to figure out a way out on his own. He was 6 months away from being able to retire. 6 months away. And when he went back to work, he put his papers in for early retirement. Put his papers in for early retirement. But he didn't tell the brothers that. He told them that they had told him that it was time for him to go. That was his only out. But they were already prepared for that. They had somebody to take his place. They had a good run out of him. And that's how this stuff goes, y'all. People put themselves in situations where they can't get out of them, or they don't think that they can get out of them, and then they end up doing things that they never thought that they would do. And this lifestyle that you might be flirting with, if you listen to it and you flirting with this lifestyle, I'm telling you, it's going to make you do some things you never thought you would do, and it can cost you. It can cost you everything. And that's why I'm telling you, stay away from it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting so tired.